And good morning, everybody. What a beautiful Friday morning in the Drag Queen City. Nate Ivy with you. On today's show, among other things, I want to talk about humans that are worse than COVID. I got a short list of humans that, in my opinion, are far worse than COVID. We'll discuss this morning, plus a smattering of other topics. Did you see your president yesterday, El Presidente Biden? What did you think of his speech? What do you think about the Biden's administration's approach to Donald Trump? We will discuss this morning. Also, it's a Friday, so let's relax it. Let's open it up. A bit of a freestyle Friday, open mic night, or open mic morning, if you will. What's on your mind? What's on your radar screen? What do you think is important? It's an open invitation to share. It's the Nathan Ivy Show, Cincinnati's first daily digital talk show that focuses on the Black community and your morning destination for interesting conversation and the last honest place in Cincinnati media. All right. We'll get started in about 90 seconds, folks. So please take this time to share. Please share the gospel. Share the gospel of flow this morning. And we'll get started in about 90 seconds. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's get started. 513-873-7134. We made it, another Friday. Happy Friday to you, everybody. Welcome back to the show and many things to discuss. As always, you can feel free to chime in via text, or you can chat, or you can always give us a call and amplify your thoughts in real digital time this morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Listen, if you're coming in, please share the show. Coming into the show, please share the show. Have you seen this viral video? This is a screen grab from a video that has gone viral this past week. And to me, it's an example of humans that are worse than COVID. I've also got a local example of humans that are worse than COVID. That if you've been listening to this show, you can probably already guess what I'm going to say. But I want to play this video for you, man. The plight of Uber drivers. Now, full disclosure, I have done Uber driving. You know, when I left corporate radio in that transition period to digital radio, I did some Ubering, and I did it for a while, and it was cool, actually. I can go so far as to say that I enjoyed it. Like, if you're the kind of person that, like, you know, you're into people and you don't mind some conversations and you like driving, it did what it had to do. And I do have my stories. I love to swap war stories with Uber drivers. I've been there to the front lines. I've dealt with these folks on the front lines. I've done it all. So when I saw this Uber situation, I had a lot of sympathy for this driver. You seen this? The sis right there, the young sister right there, the light-skinned chick, man, she actually coughs on dude. Like on some super really disrespectful type coughing. Not like polite, I'm trying to hold it in kind of cough, but I'm trying to do it all over you kind of cough. Just disrespectful to this man. Just absolutely disrespectful. And I don't know what the deal is. He might have been telling him, the Uber driver might have been telling him to get out of his car or something like that. You know, people don't really like you when you come at them like that. Or maybe, you know, they want to go to one destination, you take them somewhere else. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I have been there, not to that situation. Never had a situation like that, but people out here wild. I'm telling you, it's a whole lot of humans that are worse than COVID. And unfortunately, we have some of them on the school board. That's right. I'm saying it. Humans worse than COVID on the school board. Some information came my way within the last 24 hours. And the school board is still all over the news. Apparently, they're being sued because some people are alleging that they violated the open meetings law. And then I read a response from Carolyn Jones saying basically they welcome it and it'll make them better. Well, I mean, if they welcome that, so that I'm glad that Carolyn put that out there. So now there should be no excuse for the school board members, including Carolyn Jones, to come back on the Nathan Ivey Show. Because if Carolyn Jones, the school board president, welcomes a lawsuit, right, into whether they violated an Ohio law, they should have no problem, and she should have no problem coming on the Nathan Ivey Show because we're going to make you better. I love that. I love that attitude. We are winning. Hercules, we're winning. Right? Right. They should have no problem coming on the Nathan Ivey Show because we are going to make you better at your job. A survey, apparently there was a survey that was done by Walnut Hill students to Walnut Hill students. And it's so funny, man. It's amazing to me, and I keep saying this, and nobody's picking up on it whatsoever, but I keep making this point. That it is amazing to me the way people talk about CPS. And what I mean is, through this whole situation the last couple of months, I've come in contact with a lot of students, a lot of parents, a lot of teachers. And by contact, I mean like digital conversations, interacting that way. Not necessarily all face-to-face, but across the board, it's like, you got these people who are afraid of retaliation, right? And some information came my way within the last 24 hours. And as a part of it, I was told, that the parents and the people that were behind this particular survey want to stay on the low, which I understand. They want to remain anonymous because they want to protect their children from intimidation and bullying. And think about that. Think about that. Like the fact, and again, I've seen that across the board. Like teachers who are upset with school board members have told me that with hushed tones, like, I'm afraid of the retaliation. Even before this situation, right, and dealing with parents at my daughter's school, I was told that blows my mind. Now, maybe this is just the realities of any system that includes human beings, right? But that just blows my mind. I remember having a conversation. It was a digital conversation with the school and superintendent, and I made that comment. I didn't focus on it, but I made that comment. She didn't respond. I'm like, why is it people act like CPS is the mafia? Like, you better not snitch. The fuck? I don't get it. See, that's the fucking problem right there. That is part of the problem. But it is what it is. It just blows my mind. It just keeps coming up. I don't want to be out there, Nate. And again, I will protect all anonymous sources. You already know. But the fact that people feel they need to do that to that degree is very interesting to me. That's very, very interesting. So yeah, this survey came my way. I had not seen this. And this was a survey that was done by Walnut Hill students for Walnut Hill students, and it was kind of interesting. People have been talking about the way that the questions on that parent survey, that you have 4 members of the school board. I'm sure they were staking, hanging, should I say, their rationale on why they voted to go back to 5 days a week on the 31st. It's interesting. Somebody sent this to me. Let me see here. Somebody also sent me a news article that I hadn't seen. COVID-19 cases reported in Ohio schools. And this is dated, this was as of yesterday, Thursday, March 11th. And Hamilton County or Cincinnati Public Schools is number 1 in the state in terms of total cases. And the question that came along with this is, have we stayed remote too long or not long enough? Again, I think the conversation is healthy for us, but I'll say it again, get prepared for that 31st date, because something tells me, just kind of looking, having got a chance to speak with folks, kind of reading the situation, something tells me that the 4 board members that voted for this are dug in. And we already know Melanie Bates don't really care. So she's dug in. This is her. You know what? Oh, you had a problem with it? Oh, I'm gonna show you. You know, some humans have that kind of attitude about things. You know how people can get. You know how people can get. I'm not telling you something you don't already know. You already know. You know how people can get, family. So that's what I would say. But I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that. So Cincinnati Public Schools, more total cases in terms of cases, infection cases, or people being infected with COVID-19, 547 staff cases. Now, is this year to date? Is that what that is? Is that from COVID-19 to date? Of course, now this week is a milestone. 1 year ago is when, boom, COVID hit. And can you believe that we've been living like this for the last year? Like, raise your hand if you thought it would last this long, like at the beginning. Like, go back in your mind to a year ago, if that's possible. And tell me, did you really think it was going to last this long? Like, how many people thought, okay, a couple of months, we'll be back at it by the summertime, everything will be golden? How many people thought that? I'll be honest with you. You know, there were people in the show who were talking about COVID way before I was. Way before I was. People was dropping links like, Nate, you watching this? I'm like, yeah, I'm watching it. But, you know, I'm a cynic. You know, I got there's a very big part of my heart that's cynical, right? You know what I'm saying? It is. Humans worse than COVID. I've been living with it. So, you know, living with humans who are worse than COVID can make you a cynical human being. So it was members in the audience who was on top of COVID way before I was, like ringing the alarm. And I'm like, okay, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see, which is typically my approach. Let's wait and see what happens. Will we overreact? And think about everything that has happened. Like, I mean, how many people been working? How long you been working from home? Are you really prepared to go back? What's going to be more difficult? The transition that we made to the way things are dealing with COVID and dealing with isolation and all this quarantine, or moving from quarantine back into the way things used to be? I'm just curious. What do you think? 513-873-7134. We're living in amazing times, my friends. Telling you, we living in this is the best time to be alive. It's the best time to be human. We're living in great times. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Happy Friday. Sharp writes, TGIF, Nate and the Choppers. Ray writes, here. And Brenda writes, happy Friday. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hold on one second. Okay. All right. Good morning to you. Please like and share today's show. What's up? What's up? So Joe Biden said a lot of things last night. I think at the very top of the list, the one thing that we're going to take away from his speech last night was he said that his administration's plan is to have all adult Americans be eligible to get a vaccine no later than May 1st. No later than May 1st. Did you watch any of it? Of course, I've got some clips for you, and we'll get into it. What I thought was interesting is that the Trump administration, and about Trump administration, I mean the officials, I mean the White House press secretary, I mean Joe Biden himself, they're taking the opposite approach of Donald Trump. So number one, they're purposely not talking about him and bringing up Donald Trump's name. You know, when Trump came into office, every other word at first was just the mess that Obama left, right? He was setting the bar real low. So if he did a little bit of anything, it would appear as if he was doing a whole lot, right? And the Biden administration has taken the exact opposite approach. And I wonder if you're picking up on that. You know, I've watched the White House press secretary because I kind of got used to it, right? Because the press secretaries under Trump were like one clown after another. So it was a circus. And I'll be honest with you, it's nice to have, while it might not be as entertaining, as a mature adult American citizen, it's nice to have officials who every other word isn't about self-aggrandizing. Every other word isn't a lie to smear your predecessor. You know, every other word isn't a lie to make it seem as if you're the best ever. I mean, that shit got old as hell. I mean, I ain't even talking about the politics. I'm just saying that the whole Trumpian style, where it seemed like everyone with a microphone was like Trump's personal publicist. You know, that's so to this far, that's been refreshing for me. You know, when I saw Joe say what you want, he didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to down whoever. He just spoke the facts. He made one line, which was completely true. And I was on Fox News this morning. Of course, they ran with it. Joe Biden attacks Trump. They have to paint everything as if it's somebody versus somebody. Somebody's out to get the Fox News crowd, right? You know, that's what they do. They do it well. That's why they do big numbers, right? But it was refreshing. It was refreshing, in my opinion. But what do you think about that style? I mean, do you think that Biden should spend more time? And even with the COVID relief thing last night, a part of me wanted, if not Trump, because Trump's irrelevant. He's no longer in office. But the Democrats passed this COVID stimulus package with absolutely no Republican help. And for me, they need to remind people of that. They need to let people know that over and over and over and over and over again until it sticks. People need to know what side of the issues, right, that, you know, the parties are, so we can make the most informed decision, you know, when it comes election time. So I wish that the Biden administration would do more of that, especially when it comes to the Republican opposition. And I'm not saying that no one does. I'm just saying in general, I wish they would do more because it's true. Let's go to the phones, shall we? Again, if you want to share your thoughts, the number is simple, 513-873-7134. If you want to test the limits of a dangerous force, and that force is your own flow. So let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. What up, Drop?
What's up? Mr. Ivy, I woke up this morning out here on the left coast, the People's Republic of California, and I'm listening to your monologue, sir. And quite frankly, I was going to wait to listen to more to see what direction you're going to take this, but it's pretty obvious, Mr. Ivy, you are disgusted with the 46th president of the United States. And you are not happy with his lack of transparency, his lack of honesty when it comes to this COVID-19 and the amazing job that the Trump administration did with Operation Warp Speed to get all the things set up with all the drug companies to get them online to have all these vaccines ready to deliver for the next president of the United States. Now, unfortunately, it's not Trump, but everything that Joe Biden said last night and the part that you just mentioned that you listened to on Fox News, and it's great to hear that you are a Fox News listener, just like you are a listener or a former listener of Rush Limbaugh. I appreciate you, Mr. Ivy, for being able and willing to listen to both sides of the political argument. Now, not back to Donald Trump, because he's no longer president, but back to Operation Warp Speed, which was put in place by the Trump administration, and the audacity of Joe Biden and his press secretary to say that the entire vaccine operation was a complete mess. The cupboard was empty. Literally, there was nothing in the refrigerator. So if that's the case, Mr. Ivy, how do you explain last summer when the Trump administration got approval or authorization or confirmation from all 6 of the drug companies to have millions, a total of 8 million vaccines committed to have produced for America's war on the coronavirus? But no, Sleepy Joe Biden and the lying, desperate Democrats gonna get on national TV as if in 50-something days, Joe Biden's administration has done all this. I mean, come on, Mr. Ivy. That's ridiculous. And I don't believe you, of all people, not calling out that hypocrisy and not giving credit where credit is due. Everything that's happening with the vaccines right now is because of Operation Warp Speed. Now, Joe Biden, because he was the vice president during Obama's term, when they did the initial rescue plan for the economy back in 2009, which was a failure, $870 billion. You remember cash for clunkers. You remember those shovel-ready jobs weren't so quite shovel-ready. So Joe Biden and Kamala, I'm Black, y'all Harris, will be going on tour, Mr. Ivey. Yes, that's right. The 46th president will be going on tour to sell the American Rescue Plan to the American people. Now, I don't understand that, Mr. Ivey. Maybe you can explain that to me, but I appreciate you allowing me to rant. But just for a heads up, season 2 of the Black Not Democrat podcast will focus on this $1.9 trillion that is now being allocated back to the states. And let's watch the fight, because the Black female mayors of America are already disgusted that Joe Biden is going to talk to governors instead of coming down to the streets and talking to these beautiful Black women that are running these cities across the country that happen to be disproportionately all Black. Now, before I go, Mr. Ivey, I just want to put 2 things out there. I know this may not be favorable for the mission of Joe Biden, but there have been 2 incidents, okay? One with Kroger Foods and one out in Oakland, where they mistakenly gave wrong doses to almost 5,000 people in Oakland. And in the Kroger, the grocery store situation, they injected people with empty syringes, Mr. Ivey. Now, these are just 2 cases that have come out in local news, because we already know the mainstream media is not going to report anything that's going to make Democrats look bad. We already know that. But I'm putting that out there, Mr. Ivey, because when people hear my voice, they may not like what they hear, but they listen and they trust but verify everything.
Can I ask you a quick question, sir?
That's all I got.
Can I ask you a quick question, sir?
Yes, because I was getting ready to end it.
Do you think
you hung up on me last time?
Do you think that all of the allegations about Andrew Cuomo make him look bad?
What kind of Mr. Ivey? Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
After the 45th president, the first gangster president, you gonna ask a dumbass question like that about Governor Cuomo?
Okay,
who
well,
now has six.
Humor me. I'm leading somewhere with it. I'm leading somewhere with it, but you know, it seems like a very simple thing to answer. Yes or no?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Is it being reported by the news?
Yes.
Okay, then. So, I mean, you keep making this point about how the mainstream media won't report anything that makes a Democrat look bad. I just gave you an example, a modern day example of Andrew Cuomo. And you're completely wrong about when you said about, you know, how I was viewing Joe Biden. I'm not disgusted at Joe Biden at all, quite honestly.
Then why are you allowing him to not give credit to Operation Warp Speed? You don't have to give credit to Donald Trump, but give credit to Operation Warp Speed and the proud civil servants who served under the 45th president, who got all this stuff done, put everything in place, the logistics. Mr. Ivey,
so now you're the credit cop.
That the logistics behind this vaccine operation just started after January 20th? Are you serious?
So now you're the personal credit cop.
Yeah.
Is this a new job? Because you must have just got this job, bro.
Accountable.
You must have just got this job
every
because
president accountable.
I didn't hear you doing none of this when Donald Trump was in office, taking credit away from Obama.
Why are you talking about Donald Trump?
I'm just saying.
Why are you talking about him?
I'm just asking, is this a new position?
No, it's the same position.
I'm just saying, it seems like now you got the new position of credit cop.
No.
You're gonna check Joe Biden to make sure he gives Trump credit. But where were you when Trump was taking credit for what Obama did?
See, I didn't want to bring that part up because there's a direct correlation between the economy when Trump came in and then with these vaccines when Biden came in.
And I know that's the point I'm making, but where were you then?
I was doing the same thing.
No, you weren't. You weren't. Oh, you never not once called in and said, you know what, Trump keep taking credit from Obama. He needs to stop doing that.
You ain't right. You ain't
right. I'm just saying. You ain't right.
Mr. Ivey, I told you that when Barack Obama was president, Everything that happened while he was president, yes, it's on his watch. But once he leaves, any residuals that come from his administration more than likely is not going to be used by the next administration.
Okay, use that same rationale with Biden then.
But Mr. Ivey, when it comes to the economy, Donald Trump changed the American tax law in 2017.
And
okay,
what's your point?
That changed, Mr. Ivey, that changed to the tax law in 2017.
Oh, now you just making stuff up.
Affected the economy.
Now
it affected the economy.
Now you just making stuff up.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not, Mr. Ivey.
But I appreciate the
tax
call, man.
code.
Now you just making stuff up. Yeah.
Okay, so you getting ready to hang up on me again? You getting ready to hang up on me again?
Again? I haven't hung up on you yet.
Yes. Mr. Ivey, there was a time you used to let me close out my call with Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate the call. That man is he's like that conservative uncle that you know you can't change his mind. But when he says crazy stuff, you just can't let it roll. Now that man just made no sense whatsoever. Now you the credit cop. Run around here making sure people get credit for their actions. This must be a new position, bro, because where was you was not on your job for the last 4 years. Had nothing to say. Got the nerve to call in here talking about something. Why don't Joe Biden give Trump credit? Will you please stop? And Trump was the king of taking credit for things that he didn't do. But did you get a chance to watch any of the first primetime address, 1 year anniversary of COVID? What I've learned in the 1 year is that humans are worse than COVID. I want to make this point again. Humans are worse than COVID. COVID is just an organism, a virus that wants to reproduce. It wants to replicate. There's no other agenda. Humans have all these other agendas. You know what I'm saying? Humans will lie to themselves. COVID will not. Humans will lie to other humans. COVID is not lying to other virus cells. COVID is like, it is what it is. I am what I am. Humans, like I told you, all these different and sometimes competing agendas. We are the real virus, quite honestly. Some of us, not us here. It's your friends and families that don't listen to the show. They haven't been baptized by the flow. It's those folks. It's those folks. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Look at this image right here. Here's another example of humans worse than COVID. This man is just an Uber driver, right? Just trying to make some money as an Uber driver. Raise your hand if you ever did any kind of Uber drive or Lyft or ride share, anything like that. You've invited people into your car, and then the light-skinned sister right there, she starts coughing on him like, I don't know. To me, coughing in the COVID age is the same as assault. Like if you purposely cough right at somebody's face, that's on the same level as an assault to me. In my opinion, if somebody just comes up to you and like just coughs in your face with no mask on, like if I have COVID and you get it, I don't care, then you can react to that the same way as you would somebody physically pushing on you or hitting you or something like that. I'm just telling you. See, that's the reason why I'm not a judge, because I'm not going to be fair. I'm going to be very biased toward common sense. You do some dumb ish, whatever happens, happens. Better now. Thank you. That's the wifey. She just walked in. It's a family show. People come in, son, daughter, wife. People just stop on by. So again, this man's just trying to make a little bit of money, and he must have told these ladies to get out. And again, if you're an Uber driver, see, the more I did Uber, the more I realized you got to do Uber the way you want to do it. And so I adopted my rules, and I adopted a zero tolerance policy. I took nothing, zero. Like I was that dude that would pull over in a second and be like, this ain't working for me. Cancel the ride, holla. And if folks didn't like it, I drive them straight over to District 2 or 1 or wherever the closest police department was. That's me. And I always had some mace on me. I'd burn your eyeballs out your sockets. Sure would. I'm not here. I ain't taking no losses. I'm not playing no games. You think I'm joking? I would burn it straight out your back, the back of the skull, and just keep on going, right? Because who got time for nonsense? You're trying to make a little bit of money. I know I don't. Do you? And so I don't even know how this ended. He probably ended with calling the police or something like that. If you're an Uber driver and you get assaulted, make sure you make a police report. Make sure you make a police report. I'm wondering, are there any Uber drivers? Do you have any stories? I mean, Uber drivers had the best stories. I love to hear it. I love to hear it this morning. April writes, peace and blessings. Happy Friday, y'all. Good to see you. Dale writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Jerome writes, TGIF, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Jerome. I said, Jerome's in the house. I just had to get it in. Lee writes, good morning, all. Happy Friday. It is a happy Friday. This Friday, oh man, shout out to Crystal Kendricks and the voice of Black Cincinnati. I've told her this directly. I think she is doing some of the best work in the city of Cincinnati, hands down, bar none. Bar none. And she's been posting, they've been doing their best to just educate. I like this. I like to go to my timeline and get a little education, you know what I'm saying, about the Black folks that were the founders of the city of Cincinnati. And she posted something about Peter H. Clark and Peter H. Clark Academy. So props to them over there. So I'm in the Friends page right now. What am I looking for? I'm looking for this article. We got to talk about this. I hit it a little bit yesterday, just a little bit. There's so much crazy stuff going on out here. I hit it just a little bit yesterday, but I want to circle back around. Plus, I got a couple of viral videos you might find interesting. Maybe not so much shocking, but interesting this morning. But Stacey Dash has apologized for her offensive comments, and she's now quit politics. I watched her interview, and man, I had a lot of thoughts that was going through my head. And my question is, are we as a family ready to accept Stacey Dash back to the Black family? That is my question for you. This is a majority Black audience. I'd like to know what you think about this. She has apologized. She's disavowed Donald Trump. I think that we should seriously think about lifting our lifetime ban of Stacey Dash and allowing her, at the very least, sis should come to the cookout. At the very least. I want to know, can I get a here on this from the Black family? Can I get a here? You have to make a decision about Sister Stacey Dash. Okay. And I think this is the male part of my brain that's really leading this conversation. But I think it's okay for sis to come back home. That's what I think. Just like at a lot of churches, a lot of Black churches, they spend some time during every Sunday worship session, opening up the doors of the church and inviting people to come back to Christ. I think we should invite Stacey to come back to the Black family. I'm just gonna put it out there. Okay, can I get a here? Anybody out there? Andrea writes, good morning, all. Happy Friday. Eb G writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you, Eb G. Reggie writes, top of the morning. Woody writes, good morning, brother Nathan and the Choppers. Wear your mask. Oh, most definitely. Ashley writes, good morning, happy Friday. Good to see you, Ashley. Good morning, everybody. Before we get too deep into the show, I want to remind you of a couple things. There is an opportunity for you to download a free ebook this morning. There's a link in today's description on Facebook and on YouTube. You can download it now, or you can just go to renewcommunitychurch.org and download their Focus 2021 series. While you're at it, you're also going to be eligible to get 30 minutes of free coaching. My question is, as I continue with this campaign, I'm curious, have you ever had a life coach, a business coach? Would that be something that you would think is valuable? Would that be a resource to you? That's how you have to look at it. Would it be worth your time? And if you come up with yes, start here. What I would do is download the free ebook, sign up for the 30 minutes of coaching, approach it with something that you seriously think you need some coaching on and see if it works. That could open the door for a whole new type of relationship that could benefit you or your business. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how experienced you are. There's always somebody out there that's got more experience. And as they say, you should be interacting people who are where you want to be, right? And when you do check it out, when you download it, let me know. Hit me up with a DM and let me know what you think. My friends over at Pinnacle Protection Agency are looking to hire installers, everybody. Thank you so much. And they're seeking professional camera, DVR, and alarm operators. So if you're looking to make a career change, or maybe you're looking to do something on the side, or if this is your field, this could be an opportunity for you. You can email your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com, or you can call 513-506-5010. We got an ad we'll play later on the show to give you more information as well. Okay. At the same time, you might be looking for a smart security system, because that's the new thing now, the smart security systems that'll like activate you via your phone and an app. You don't have to be at home to like take a look at the cameras to see what's happening at your business or at your home. You know, you got all this new tech now where they got cameras that don't even look like cameras. They got cameras they can install them to your door. And so when someone hits the doorbell or comes close to it, no matter where you are, it comes up on your app. So think about it. You might have some boxes that are being delivered. Got to worry about porch pirates. You might have had some maybe security issues. Maybe you thought somebody was up on your porch, or maybe you had a break-in recently, and you're just looking for some security, right? Some peace of mind. We'll give my friends over at PinnacleProtectionAgency.com a call this morning at 513-506-5010 and get that peace of mind. It's invaluable. It is invaluable. Good morning to you. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. All right. So, hey, what's up, Deaf Moments? Deafmere Moments. Good morning, all. Lee writes, Biden wants vaccines available to all by May 1st so we can celebrate the 4th of July. Is a pending cookout worth the risk? That's a good point. It's a good point, because if I had to be honest with you, when I heard Biden say that, I thought, that's a little bit too early. You know, for me, let's wait and see how things go. But for me to feel like anything close to normal, I'm looking at this time next year. I'll just be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I feel like for the foreseeable future, it's really up and down. And then we don't know how these variants of the virus are going to interact with the vaccine. So that's going to take some time so we can get some available, useful information. You know what I'm saying? If people want to jump out there and be the first ones back, okay, we need somebody. We need pioneers. Go on out there and do you. But for me personally, not really feeling it. Not really feeling it. What do you think? Dan writes, she is cocky. They all are. You speaking about the school board. Lisa writes, he asked her to mask up, and when she refused, told them to get out. That foolishness ensued. Now they are banned by Uber. Yeah. Wanted by the SFPD. Yeah, great. Because that's an assault, man. I mean, listen, you get in somebody's Uber, you should treat that. That doesn't. You're paying for a service. You're not paying for the right to disrespect another human. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're paying for. And you know, everybody's different. I've seen Uber drivers get out the car. I've seen an Uber driver, black dude, get out the car, open the door. He was telling this woman to get out. It happened to be a sister. She wouldn't get out. She was in the car with her friends. They was laughing and keying. He got out the car, opened the door, and like flung her out the car on some like He-Man type stuff. And then slammed the door and got back in the front seat. And he might have drove off. I don't know, but it's real out here. Dan writes, just 6. These are grown-ass folks, shaking my head right. These are grown people disrespecting other people in their car, no less. In their car. But what do we think about Stacey Dash? Let me jump ahead here. I want to get your thoughts. What do we think about Stacey? Can Stacey come back? I say yes. Kevin writes, Stacey Dash, it's a hell no for me, dog. Torn out the fantasy file. She looked like her breast stank to me now. Damn. That's a little personal. Elise writes, a happy Friday. Elise, she empowers. Okay, how you doing, Elise? Lemmy writes, Stacy, show you who she is, so believe her. Dale writes, Nate, you too easy. I'm thinking about your game. You slipping Stacy need to put in some work. I'm just starting the conversation. You know what I'm saying? At least she apologized. Brent writes, Stacey Dash must first come to the Nathan Ivey Show to apologize to a black audience, parent not going on white media to apologize. I think you're right about that. She must go to black media if she's going to apologize first. I agree with that. Ronald writes, yes, humans are worse than COVID. Yes, they are. And we got some folks on the school board that fit that description, unfortunately. All great people. You know what's funny? I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and this person was like, well, you really don't like the school board. I thought, what makes you think that? That was my first thought. And then I had to be a bit more self-aware. Like, yeah, I have been going rather hard. So no, it's not personal. On a personal level, I'm sure all these men and women are great people. I have no doubt about that. And I believe that many of them care. I've been saying that from day one. But two things can be true at the same time. Those two things can be true. And it can also be true that it's time for a change. That's not personal. You see, can I get a here for Stacy? I'm looking for a here for Stacy Dash. I move. I'm coming before the Black Family Congress. I move that we reinstate Stacy Dash. Okay, that's what I say. Can I get a here? Why do wifey say hell no? Can I get a here? Can I get a here? Well, good morning to you, Deshauna. Good morning to you. Can I get a here for Stacy? I'm still looking for a here. Y'all so tough, man. Y'all are tough. So Woody writes, apology not accepted for Stacy. Robert writes, drop Dash. Lemmy writes, facts, humans worse than COVID. Can I get a here? Jay writes, nah. Robert writes, hell no. Y'all are tough people. Y'all are tough people. Okay, Mike Will writes here. Thank you, Mike Will. Thank you. We got a here. That's all we needed. That's all we've got to hear. So it's official. The Black Family Congress has, per our rules that I'm making up as I go, we now will have to vote as a black family on whether Stacy Dash can come back. She has apologized. I believe her. I believe, sis. I think it's time for us to get over ourselves, understand and recognize that people make mistakes. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna play this clip for you. You can hear from Stacy Dash herself. This is Stacy herself, and she is apologizing. She has seen the light, and she wants to come back. And all you people out here, you know, how's the scripture go? Ye with something. Basically, people in glass houses sit and throw stones. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. All right. If anybody knows about that scripture I'm struggling with, please share. I am not the best with the Bible. I fully admit it. But we got to hear from Mike Will. I'm going to leave it up on the screen so people know that I didn't make that up. Listen to this, watch this, and then tell me how you feel about Stacy.
I've lived my life being angry. You know, which was what I was on Fox News. You know, I was the angry, conservative black woman. And at that time in my life, it was who I was. And I realized in 2016 that anger is unsustainable. And it will destroy you. And, you know, what people don't know is that I made a lot of mistakes. And because of that anger.
Senior correspondent Alicia Quarles is with us now.
So there it is, everybody. She says she was angry, and then Fox News tried to portray her as the angry black woman. You know that some conservative outlets or news outlets will do that. And she's gotten over her anger. Now, what was she angry about and what her made some say all those kind of things about Obama? I don't know. But I mean, who among us hasn't made a mistake? I'm just saying. Let's be fair here. Good morning, everybody. Brian's in the house. He writes, capitalism and the mentality of greed is worse than COVID. Humans just acting out the script. Humans are capable of incredible things when profit is not a factor. I can't disagree. Derek's in the house. He writes, good morning, fam. Good morning to you. Carmelita writes, Issa no on Stacey Dash. See, this is women hating women. Cruther writes, hell no to Stacey. She made her bed. I just played this video for you. Are you telling me that you're not swayed by this? You telling me you don't find this to be compelling? You know, let me flash forward in the interview because Stacey actually tears up for all you damn haters out there. This is real.
You know, has put me in some kind of box that I do not belong in. I don't hate anyone. I don't, I don't know where that comes from. And, well, he's not the president. So I'm going to give the president that we have right now a chance.
And now she says she's living by her morals and not her politics.
Right. So now she's living by her morals and not her politics. I know you're swayed by that. Y'all so tough. Darlene writes, Stacey who? Dash? No. Daryl writes, you just want her back in your fantasy file. I mean, mind your own damn business. Glenn writes, Nate's like Trump with the Dash vote. Stop the steal. Lord writes, Stacey Dash black card has Stacey Dash black card has been revoked, stepped on, and burned. You can come back from that. You can come back. Somebody writes, she's only doing this because she can't get a job. Y'all so damn cynical. Y'all are so fucking cynical. So cynical. Also, I want to remind you of an opportunity to be at the swearing in and reception that'll be honoring Charlie Winburn. Now, if you may or may not know this, but he is the first African-American Hamilton County treasurer. He was appointed between the time in which Jill Schiller will take over in November. Okay. The treasurer stepped down. Republican Party had to appoint someone. They appointed Charlie Winburn, making him the first African-American Hamilton County treasurer. And he and I are going to talk real soon. I'll be able to probably give you a date on Monday as to when he's going to come in and talk about his plans. If you live in Hamilton County, you want to hear that conversation. I'll tell you that right now. He's told me just a little bit of what his plans are. I've got some indication without the specifics. But if you live in Hamilton County, if you're a property owner in Hamilton County, you're going to want to hear that conversation. I can promise you that. All right. But I'll let you know probably on Monday. And coming up on March 19th from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. at Corinthian Baptist Church, then you are invited to the public welcome of Charlie Winburn. Now, if you want to get more information, you can call ahead. Speak with Zakiya Allen at 513-477-8098. A complimentary box lunch will be provided on the go. Social distancing rules will be in effect, and masks are required. You are required to wear a mask. All right, just to make sure that we all on the same level, so we understand what to expect. All right. I say Stacey Dash she's changed. Haven't you ever done? Are you the same person today that you were 10 years ago? No. So people change. Glenn writes, bye, Felicia. I mean, Stacey. See? Carmelita writes, I cry when I want my way too. Nah, see, there you go. I mean, she was in a bad place back then. Amina writes, she's an actress. She knows how to play the role. See how these black women so cynical about this black woman? You see? See, we got to deal with that as a people. Glenn writes, dash your ass on away from me. Cruther writes, nope, not Suede. Dare writes, Nate, she's an actress. Y'all. Kevin writes, Nate, she's an actress, Nathan. Get the uck out of here. Rachel writes, Nate's just trying to justify adding her back to his FS list. You go ahead, Nate, LOL. Woody writes, white folks don't want her. Keep stepping, Stacy. Y'all wrong, man. I don't even remember her being that bad, quite honestly. Can you know, if anybody got a link of Stacey Dash behaving badly, I'd like to see it. You know what I'm saying? We need as much talent in the black community as possible. That's all I'm saying. Damn haters. Do you have a list of humans who you think are worse than COVID? I'd like to hear. Please share. Let's make it fun. Let's open it up. Let's open it up this morning. Oh my God. Let's open it up. Is this true? This appears to be a news article. This is all on the up and up to me, but it was being reported by NBC4i.com. Not sure where they are. Somewhere in Ohio and Columbus, Ohio. And they were reporting on the week-to-week COVID-19 cases reported by Ohio K through 12 schools. And it bucked a downtrend, coming in at more than 3,000 cases this week. Would you like to know, per this particular news report, where the majority of those COVID-19 infection cases came from? Take a guess. What do you think? What school district do you think was number one? Meaning they had the most, they reported the most COVID-19 infections within this time frame, which appears to be as of Thursday, March 11th. I'll wait. That's right. Cincinnati Public Schools. Did you know that? I know everybody wants to think that the pandemic is over with. I know it's inconvenient. I know you're sick to death of it. I get it. But COVID's COVID. COVID is COVID. Let me see if I can put this on the screen for you right here, and you can see it for yourself, so you don't think I'm making this up. You know, you can look at it for yourself and decide for yourself as to how you feel. Hold on, let me take this down right now. Robert writes, anybody seen Donald Trump? No, and we ain't looking for him. He can stay wherever he is. He had his time in the sun. It's over. We got other things to do. Let me see if I can put this on the screen for you. School districts that have reported at least one case of COVID. Pardon me. So there it is. That is a news article from Columbus, and they are talking about the weekly increase in COVID-19 cases reported by Ohio K through 12 schools. The increase. Do we know what the word increase means? Increase means more. Cincinnati Public Schools, a district of more than 34,000 students, leads the state with 996 cases. Then he got a little breakdown here. So staff cases, 547, student cases, 449. Now, when you compare the number 449, or I think the total number is 996, and you compare that to 34,000, it seems to be small. Unless you're one of the 996, then it seems to be very big. Did you know that? Did the school board know that? But that doesn't really matter though, because they've got it all figured out. So don't mind this little minor thing like, Cincinnati Public Schools being number one in infections. Report it. Small matter, right? Oh man. Sister Iris writes, and not a good actress. Charles writes, the money must be short. Tracy writes, maybe the Hispanics or Asians will take her. See, y'all going way too far. So now we negotiating who's going to take Stacey. Listen, like it or not, Stacey's got to come home. There's no other place for her to go. I mean, for God's sake, she was in a Kanye West video. She's got to come home. Brian writes, didn't Dave Chappelle trade her in the draft? I think he might have. Y'all wrong, man. Y'all wrong. Brent writes, Michael Vick has apologized over 100,000 times, and the ASPCA and folks still have not forgiven him. Yeah, but we forgave Mike from the beginning. We forgave Mike from the beginning. That's the point. We're talking about the black family. And what kind of family would we be if we would turn our backs on one of our own because of some things that happened in the past that they've apologized for? Where they do that at? We don't do that. I'm landing on thick, I know. Letty writes, good morning, good morning, Nathan Ivy and Choppers. It's a beautiful day. Enjoy your weekend. Make somebody happy. Okay, I'm down with all of that. Robert writes, didn't Donald Trump want to open up society last year by Easter during the height of the pandemic? He did. Jericho writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. Jericho says she had some issue with the sound. Okay, I hope not. Ronald writes, Dave traded Condoleezza Rice for O.J. Simpson. Tracy writes, I thought we traded Kanye too. Y'all ain't right, man. Iris writes, oh, Nate, she might infect someone else with her stupidity, or even worse, she and Drop might hook up. Oh, that would be a deadly conversation right there. That'll be a Drop and Stacey Dash. She might join Black Non-Democrat. You never know. You never know. Listen, did you know, speaking of did you know that Cincinnati Public Schools is being reported here by NBC4i.com, which is an NBC affiliate coming out of Columbus, and they've been tracking the weekly increase in COVID-19 cases reported by Ohio K through 12 schools. Did you know that Cincinnati Public Schools is top of the charts in terms of number one in terms of total cases? Number 2, Oda. Number 3 is Hillard. Number 4 is Dublin. Number 5 is a Delaware County school. Number 6 is Southwest City. Number 7 is Westerville. Number 8 is Mason. Number 9 is Oak Hills. Number 10 is Pinkerton. But Cincinnati Public Schools is number 1 in terms of total cases. Why? Why? Terry writes, come on home, sis. We all got a past we don't want to speak on. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Some compassion. Thank you. You know we are compassionate peoples. So we do best, or one of the things we do best. And we can get down in the kitchen. All right? So that's in our nature to somebody apologize. Boom, y'all, listen, many of y'all accepted O.J. Simpson, and you know he killed those white folks. You know he killed Ron and Nicole. You know he did, but you accepted him anyway. So if you're going to accept O.J. Simpson after he murdered 2 people and got away with it because of the history of racial animus and a history of racism and the LAPD, the Los Angeles Police Department, and having the money to get the right lawyer and just kind of like the right of time, all things kind of came together. OJ got off, and many black people, and I would go so far to say many black people in this audience was like, he can come back home. So if he can come back home, then Stacey Dash can come back home. Yeah, that sounds good enough. Susan writes, Stacey Dash said that comparing the death of Trayvon Martin to the 1955 murder of Emmett Till, quote Malcolm X, that if you aren't careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. Is that what she said? She did. You know what? She did say some dumb shit about Emmett Till. You're right about that. Is that what she said exactly? Damn, sis was wrong for that. Danita writes, if CPS has the highest, then doesn't that go in line with the fact that kids aren't getting it from school? One reason people are using that kids should stay remote is that attendance is so bad because the kids aren't going into the school building. If the kids are getting COVID, how is it from the school building if they aren't in the building? 994 out of 4,000 students and staff population is 2.4% of the student and staff population. Schools and still have to report cases even if the kid hasn't walked through the door. Cases were even reported during the Thanksgiving and Christmas breaks, and we know they didn't get it from the school. Note to parents, stay out of Sky Zone. Well, that's part of the whole point then, Danita. That's the whole point. Yeah, that's the whole point as to why people said they should remain virtual and remain remote. And that is because the virus is still transmissible. See, once again, you're twisting the argument to fit your own benefit. To me, as I look at what you just said, that makes the point as to why you should remain remote, because you can't control what people are doing outside of the school building. You can't control that. You know, you're going to have kids that are going to school, and what they're doing out of school, they might get COVID and bring it back to school. That was the whole point, Danita. That was the whole point. That's part of it. And then go to school and transmit it at the school as well. Yeah, that for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but my concern is not just like if my daughter goes back to 5 days a week. My concern is that she's going to get COVID, right, from her classmates. And her classmates might be doing who knows what they're doing out of school. And the kids aren't getting tested. And many of them are asymptomatic. So that was the whole point. I don't really understand what you're trying to say there. I think you're saying that CPS, the kids aren't getting at the school. Okay. Come on, sis. We all got, okay, yeah, I read that. Jericho writes, Stacey Dash doesn't like black people. You know what? I was on a YouTube channel. Speaking of not liking black people, I was on a YouTube channel just yesterday, and this brother's getting a lot of subscribers. He was like at 16,000 subscribers, which to me, I would say that's a lot. And it ain't super big because you got channels that's way bigger than that. And basically, he did like a 2-part show, and the whole thing he was talking about was Dr. Umar Johnson. And so Dr. Umar Johnson, he posts these videos of what's going on with the school. And then this brother would get the videos and break them all the way down. And, it's entertaining. And, as I was watching, I was thinking like, damn, he going hard on Dr. Umar. I don't know if it's true or not. I will say that something's up. But I don't know why your comment made me think about that, Jerica, but it did. Jay writes, cause when the clubs opened, the parents went out and yeah. Well, that's the whole reason about spring break. That's the reason why you got parents who are like, you know what, is coming back from spring break the right thing to do? Because what's going to happen on spring break? People are not going to be at school. And then their family members, people around them are going to be going out. They're going to be trying to have a good time. And then they're going to come back, right? Who knows if they're transmitting it at home and then go back into the schools. And who knows what's going to happen. And again, you have people who are asymptomatic, who don't appear to have any of the characteristics, or not characteristics, but any of the symptoms at all, right? That's the whole point. The whole point is that the school is unsafe because you can't control what everybody's doing all the time. That's the whole point. Now, whether the point of contact is from somebody, and again, like I said, if Cincinnati Public Schools has 996 cases reported right now, and again, this is not really enough information for me to really dig deep into it, because I don't know exactly what the methodology is. Like, I don't know how current this information was. Is that like 996 year to date? Is that 996 since the beginning of COVID? Is that 996 within the last week? I don't know. What I will say is that generally speaking, since February 11th, where the weekly increase was 2,907. And now, for the first time in a month, the weekly increase in what's being reported in schools has increased. Okay. So for the first time in a month, there's an increase in reported infections, COVID-19 cases reported from Ohio's K through 12 schools. The highest was this year, January 14th. And, it's been dipping ever since then. Now, of course, the cumulative cases is rising at 65,785. That number continues to go up, but that's to be expected. But again, it needs to be reported. And it is reported that since in a month, this is the first time in 1 month that the weekly increase in COVID-19 cases has gone up in K through 12 schools. Okay. Now, and Cincinnati Public Schools reported the most cases. Now, what's the current state of Cincinnati schools? Well, you got the schools for the last month that have been going back 2 days a week. So does that mean that has exposed more people in those 2 days per week? I mean, I don't think it would be unreasonable if that was your conclusion. So does that mean that we're looking? So when CPS goes back to full time somewhere in, let's say, May or the end of this month, somewhere in April, when they come back, are we going to see an uptick in the coronavirus infections? And if we do, doesn't that mean that, so if we see a drastic increase, and again, we can talk about what drastic means, of weekly COVID cases, does that mean that it's a failure, that was a bad plan? Or are we all comfortable with that? Are we all comfortable that the infection rate, the COVID-19 infection cases are going to go up? Maybe it goes up for just a week or two and then it goes back down. Are we comfortable with that? Well, it depends on who you are. Like if you're somebody that gets COVID and dies, or you have a family member that's in the hospital and it becomes a serious thing, it's not worth it to you. If you're a family member and you're never touched by COVID and it never becomes a real issue, you're probably going to be less inclined to be upset about it. You know how it is. Danita Rice, school districts report weekly. School districts report weekly, and Cincinnati Public Schools reported the most infected COVID-19 cases. And all I'm saying is that a factor that the board should consider? Is that a non-factor? Tracy writes, my son just got accepted to Scarlet Oaks. He will never see the inside of the new Whitten Woods High School. Yeah, I was on Facebook yesterday and I saw Chelsea. She's out in Forest Park. She's actually one of the council members. And she was trying to tell people, like, look, you got to go out and look at the building. I know some black folks have been running with this. I stand by what I said. For me to really draw a hard conclusion about something like that, I've got to see it with my own eyes. I just can't go off of a couple of pictures or one picture to say. And what am I talking about? Well, some people are saying that the new Whitten Woods High School, they spent $51 million, that it looks like a prison. And then so now people who are concerned about the school to prison pipeline are saying this is a part of the subliminal thing. And I don't see it. I struggle with that. I struggle with what the overall impact of, and I don't know what the intent of the designers are. Again, I have to go out there and take a look at it, but let me see here. Danita writes, wait, January 14th was the highest. CPS kids weren't in the building on January 14th. CPS kids went back in February. That's very, very true. In general, that's very, very true. But staff was still put in place. Matter of fact, let me share the link with you. You can check it out for yourself. Tell me what you think about the article. You might say, listen, it ain't a credible source. Or you might think it is a credible source. But I just posted a link for you. You can check it out for yourself. That article was sent to me. Look at the other pics. It's a beautiful. Marquetta writes, look at the other pics. It's a beautiful campus. I imagine it is. But again, people see what they want to see. People see what they want to see sometimes. For me, I looked at it, I thought about it. I can see what people are saying from that particular image, but I could take a picture to completely give you a completely different sense of the space than what it really is. You know, that's completely possible. So, and again, okay, so let's say that we so where, and then what's the recourse? What do we do about this? Are the people that have an issue with it, are they going to raise some money so they can get a new design of that particular corridor of the building? Probably not. Probably not. Is it kind of like, I'm going to keep my kids away from there? I mean, again, for this to be fair, people got to do some research, for it to really make sense to me. But I get it. I get it. So Chelsea, she was like, listen, I was privy to the plans, and I can tell you that was never the case. And I'm like, she's the Forest Park council person. So if that's what she's saying, I mean, I'll take it for the gospel. It must be true. Glenn writes, people saw one picture and ran with it. That's my take on it. People saw a picture and was like, that looked like, and they just ran with it. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when people just run with stuff, they right. They right. Sometimes not so much. Lisa writes, ran a marathon. Danita writes, not all staff were in the building. Teachers had the option to go in or do remote until 2 weeks before the kids came back. Well, again, Danita, it just makes the point. If Cincinnati Public Schools is reporting, and again, if you believe this article, this is information that was reported by CPS. If this information is true, then what do you expect when CPS returns 5 days a week? That's my question. If this week, if within the last 2 weeks, CPS reported that they've had the highest COVID infections since a month ago, what do you expect when all the schools return 5 days a week? What do you expect? And whatever happened to having 1 day a week where you could clean? Are the schools being properly cleaned, or is that not a thing anymore? I think you got school board members. I think you have an administration that's being pressured. They're being pressured successfully by people saying, well, look at all these other school districts. Our kids are falling behind. And I've seen no statistical data that would conclude that these kids are falling behind. I've seen none of that. In fact, someone sent me a Walnut Hill survey that was done by the students for the students. And the majority of the students in this particular survey, and take it for what it is, I think they had, I can't remember the number of respondents, but it was 27% or 26% of the total population that responded to it. But a question was asked about how the students felt about academics and their emotional well-being. And 70% of them said that they cool. We're gonna have to do what we got to do for the short term. That's my attitude. My daughter's attitude is she wants to go back to school, but she doesn't think it's safe. And like I said, she's 15 and she got more sense than some of the adults on the school board. She got more sense than they do. Susan writes, Chelsea can say that wasn't the intention, but it doesn't negate the outcome. If ultimately Whitten Woods High School does look like a prison. I mean, you're right about that, Susan, but I'm not convinced that Whitten Woods High School looks like a prison. I'm not convinced. I just feel like I could come to almost anyone in this audience's house and find one shot that somebody could use looks like something, and or it looks like something is out of order. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's unfair to judge an entire school building based upon one photograph. And one photograph that really doesn't give us enough information, in my opinion, to really allow us to draw any real usable conclusions. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. Colleen writes, it was like 420 or 450 respondents. You know, Colleen, thank you for that. I was going to say somewhere around there to my best recollection, but I thought it was interesting. You know, I've heard from parents who said they never even got a survey. I've heard from parents who said that they felt like the survey, the way it was written to get a certain response. I've heard that. People have to make their own decisions. Let me see. School looks clean, nice, and new and ready to teach moving forward. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. I mean, Chelsea is a sister, and she is a member of the Forest Park board. I don't think, she said that she was a part of or had some kind of insight into the process. And I take her for her word. You know what I'm saying? I take her for her word. I mean, what do the other high schools in the area look like? You know, what does the other high schools that this particular design firm, and I believe it's a downtown Cincinnati firm that designed the building, what do they look like? I don't know. I think that's all fair before we just run off with it and start just, and again, I'm not even sure what that means. Janine writes, Ron and Nicole were wrapped up in the drug world. They might have been, but OJ killed both of them and got away with it. And if he didn't kill them, and I believe he did, in a rage, you know, one man, listen, people keep saying, how's one man going to do that? He snapped on him with a knife. It was over before they knew it. Yeah, just like that. And it was over. That's what, and he got off on it because he played the race card. We all know that. You know, it was a fault of the system. It is what it is. Compare that 2% that Danita is saying to the 40 to 50% of students that's failing and need special services from in-person learning. Well, Angie, it appears that that's what people are doing. And are those correct numbers? 40% to 50% of the students are failing? Is that true? And then were those students failing prior to COVID? Because if they were failing prior to COVID, then it's not COVID. Danita writes, go to Sky Zone, but not school. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not sure something. The same parents that are saying they don't want their kids at school, they're the same parents taking their kids everywhere else. You can't have it both ways. I mean, is that true? I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I'm a parent saying I don't want my kid at school, and we don't take our kids to Sky Zone. So I don't know if that's necessarily true. Tracy writes, Northwest schools just told us kids K through 8 are going back on the 22nd. Okay. It is what it is. We are where we are. Brett writes, happy Stacey Dash came back home is like inviting Pookie to be over Crack Rock distribution again. It's nothing like that, Brent. It's nothing like that. That's why I thought we traded Kanye too. Y'all are hilarious, man. Y'all are hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, great. Man, I saw this video and I thought it was a gag. It was of this brother who was attempting to win back his girlfriend by singing to her porch camera. Remember when I was telling you earlier that, you know, security cameras, things like that, it just gives you peace of mind. Peace of mind is invaluable, right? Call my friends over at Pinnacle Protection Agency. Well, let me play this for you. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff you can do when you get smart technology, and you can put it on your door and you can record anybody that comes to your door. Man, they got tech now where you can do like proximity types of deals. So it does it automatically. Like somebody comes to your door, the camera just kicks on. right? The apps just automatically lets you know somebody's at the door. I mean, talk about peace of mind, man. That's invaluable. Have you seen this brother? It's a black man. I got to put my Uncle Nate cap on to all the men out there, all the men who are brought up in households without a male figure. I've got to be that older male figure for you to tell you the do's and the don'ts, the rights and the wrongs of being a man in a modern day world. It's very necessary. This is something that you don't, well, let me play this for you. So I don't know if this is a gag or not. This could just be a prank. They could have did this for the gram or did this just to get clicks. But let's assume for a second that in fact this is true. There's something that happens in it that makes me feel like it's just something he's just having some fun. But ladies, let me know what you would do. Let's say you were in a relationship with this man, y'all broke up, he's your ex-boyfriend now, and then you get a notification to your smart app and it shows you this video. Okay, let me let that go first. And as soon as that's done with it, they're not paying for that service. But as soon as that's over with, then I'll go back to the video and you can check it out for yourself. Hold on one second here. I'm gonna play this for you. All right, check this out.
I'm not about to be out here crying over you, stressing over you. Man, look at me. There's somebody out there that want me. And I cook, I clean. You know what? I'm not about to run down my resume for you. I'm out of here. I miss you. I'm talking to you, baby. I miss you. We used to talk and laugh all night, girl. What happened to those days?
Let me just say this, that there are times in life when you just gotta put your foot down. Okay. And let me share this with you because this brother right here, obviously, I don't know what his family situation was like. Like, I don't know if he had a father with him, but for all the men out there that didn't grow with a dad, didn't grow up with a male figure, Uncle Nate is here to school you on these matters. What we just saw, family, is a display of something that as a man, you should never, ever, ever do. There's nothing wrong with apologizing, but playing yourself like this, you never do that. I don't care what you've done. Never. And we're not even talking about a wife. We're talking about a girlfriend. A girlfriend. I don't care what she does. I don't care what she looked like. I don't care what you did. This is something you never do for a couple of reasons. Number one, as a man, you should always be reinforcing the very best qualities of yourself. And this is not that. There are some muscles you want to exercise, and this ain't one of them. Groveling, you don't want to exercise that muscle. Okay. Number two, it's not going to work. In fact, it's going to backfire. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that most women If they're dealing with like an ex situation, y'all recently broke up, and then for whatever reason, and then you go to your app and you see a video of this nature, it's going to turn them completely off. They're going to think you're a psycho. They're going to think you're invading their space. And when women feel like that, it's never a good thing. She's not going to want to be with you. She's not going to be like, oh. And here's the third thing. If she is the kind of woman that says aw to that, you don't want her anyway. You don't want her anyway. It's just a lose, 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 lose. You're in a relationship with a woman, it don't work out, you leave it like that. You don't go groveling back. I don't care if you love her or not. I don't care if you was wrong or not. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. Now, we're talking about girlfriend rules. Wife rules, that's a whole nother thing. But this man recently brought up with his girlfriend, and this is what you're doing? Never. Never. It's going to backfire. You're not going to get the girl, and you're going to feel dumb afterwards that you did this. That's number 4. It's a lose, 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 lose. 1, you're playing yourself. You're exercising the wrong muscles. That's not the muscle that you should be exercising. 2, it's going to make you look crazy, and she's not going to want to be with you. 3, if she's like, oh, I'm taking them back, you ain't going to be able to see it, but that's the wrong one for you anyway. And it's just a bad situation all the way around. Never go to the doorbell. It's just not a good look. Oh, man. It's just not a good look. Look at that. And there's no way you're going to look flattering. And then number 4, at the end of the day, maybe he was drunk or something like that. He's going to look back and regret he played himself. That's what's going to happen. He's going to look back like, damn, why I do that? So don't even do it. Ladies, you going to back me up on that, on the crazy factor of that? Y'all break up and you go to your app. You think it's the Amazon package, right? You just order something new online and it's this mofo. Are you going to think that's funny? Or are you going to think it's a threat? Derek writes, definitely for the gram. Dill writes, boo. Drop writes for the internet. You think he did it for the internet? Tiffany writes, this can't be real. Charles writes, this was a setup. That wasn't real. Lisa writes, it looks like it was a joke. Danita writes, if he isn't abusive or a cheater, he can take me out to dinner and we can talk about it. He gets points for effort. Okay. Jay writes, this has to be staged. People are saying something about the sound. Drop in a beard. Why you do that, man? Cash writes, Nate, let this man sing to his woman. No, Cash. Absolutely not. He went Aaron Hall. Is that who that was, Aaron Hall? Kathy writes, Ben Stalk, not cute. Keep it moving, sir. Thank you. Brandon writes, Aaron Hall would be mad he used this song. He might be. Yeah, that's never fresh. Says she been stalked. Never fresh. Okay, so the consensus is it's fake. I hope it's fake. Hope it's not real. But I wanted to share that just in case. Some things a man does and something a man never does. Let's talk about cancel culture for a second. Cancel culture. Did you hear that Pepe Le Pew has now been canceled? And you know what? I think that Pepe Le Pew should have been canceled. Now, if you don't know who Pepe Le Pew is a Disney character played by what appears to be a skunk, an animated character, right? And if you think about it, over the years, Pepe Le Pew was always like pushing up on the ladies. Like he would grab on them and try to kiss them. Like he was like the epitome, the characterization of a guy that can't take no for an answer, who feels like he's irresistible. Pepe Le Pew has now been canceled. Did you hear about this? apparently there were some scenes of the Disney character Pepe Le Pew. Let me see if I can find an image for you. That way you'll know what I'm talking about. Pepe Le Pew. And he was cut from the Space Jam 2 movie. There's a Space Jam 2. Who asked for that shit? I don't want to see it. But it's got LeBron in it. I don't want to go see no damn cartoons. Unless it's some old Go-Go 13, like some Japanime type ish. I don't want to watch no cartoons. But Pepe Le Pew was cut partly because of the Me Too movement and the belief that the character would be insensitive. Let me download this image for you. You got to check this out. That's right. And as a kid, I remember watching cartoons, and one in particular where Pepe Le Pew, like, he just would fall in love with the female cats and would be like all over them, right? And people are saying that the cartoon is like a part of the rape culture. Have you heard this? They're saying that this cartoon is a part of the rape culture. And people are saying it should stay in the past. The scenes were cut from the Space Jam, A New Legacy movie. And they were cut because of the way that, because of the Me Too movement and the belief that basically it was promoting the wrong things. That basically Pepe Le Pew was a sexual harasser. And they don't want kids to see that and think that's the way you're supposed to interact with a woman. You know, like hugging her just out the blue and grabbing her. And because you want her, then it's okay for you to touch her and force her to want you. What do you think about this, family? How many people grew up? You might even know what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can put this on the screen for you. Cartoons worse than COVID. Cartoons worse. Worse than COVID. Hold on one second. I just had it. I just lost it. So let me download it again and see if I can. Okay, there. I think I got it. So I'll put this up on the screen and you can check it out for yourself and tell me if this jog a memory. Did you remember seeing this? Because this is like old school cartoons right here. All right, check this out and tell me what you think. So that's Pepe Le Pew. That's a classic image from the cartoon. And so basically Pepe Le Pew was a female. I thought he was a skunk, hence the name Pepe Le Pew. And basically he would fall in love with the female animated character. So there was like a female cat. He would just fall all in love. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I'm not, again, so basically he would come on super, super strong. He'd be kissing them and hugging them and forcing them into romantic situations. And now post Me Too, where people are hypersensitive about such things, the producers of Space Jam decided we don't want to promote that and keep it in our movie. And matter of fact, let me play this for you. So this is from a famous, everybody know who Ryan Davis is? Everybody know who Ryan Davis comedy? He does a whole bunch of really very, very popular, like, you know, short videos about different things, and he makes them funny. He'll talk about pop cultural things that are relevant. Let me play this for you and tell me if you agree or disagree with Ryan Davis. Check this out.
So we're canceling Pepe Le Pew now. Really? I got 3 problems with that. 1, Pepe Le Pew is a cartoon. That means that every decision that he makes, everything that he says is a choice made by a human being. Why not cancel the human being? Why not cancel the company that made Pepe Le Pew possible? But we're going to cancel the cartoon? You can make him say and act differently. So why would you do that? Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. We're just canceling everything. Rape culture, I don't think that Pepe Le Pew displayed rape culture at all. Are we forgetting that Pepe Le Pew thought the cat was a skunk? For all we know, that's how female skunks like male skunks to act. Y'all didn't never clear that up. The reason there's a disconnect, because they're two different species. Nobody wants to point to that. Oh no, he's just trying to rape the female skunk. It's a cat. That's why she's not drawn to him. He sounds funny. He smells funny. He's overly aggressive, which is what cats don't like. But no one ever assured us that that's not what female skunks like. All right? And who is learning how to get women based off Pepe Le Pew? That is my third problem with it. Well, who's watching it and going, Pepe Le Pew is definitely how you get women? No, if you're paying attention to it correctly, they're telling you if you smell bad or if you're over aggressive, then pussy is not in your future. Pussy will continue to run away from you. That's what I got from watching Pepe Le Pew. What the hell are these other niggas getting? Who is influenced by a cartoon skunk? All right? If you're being over aggressive and you keep getting rejected and you keep on doing it, I don't know, man. I don't know no niggas like that. Outside of niggas that's in your DMs, maybe start calling them niggas Pepe Le Pew. But leave the cartoon alone.
What do you think about Ryan Davis? Sorry about the language. I should have gave you a heads up. What do you think about what Ryan Davis had to say? And is Pepe Le Pew a part of the rape culture? The rape culture, which essentially means that there are elements in our culture that overtly and subtly, seem that it's okay to be overly aggressive and or to force women into sexual situations that they don't really want to be a part of. Society or environment whose prevailing social attitudes have the effect of normalizing or trivializing sexual assault and abuse. And, there's the rape culture is real, 100%. The rape culture is real. The idea that, pornography in and of itself has that kind of impact because it can lead men to believe that women are just waiting for you to tap it on the shoulder to have sex with them. And all you got to do is show a little confidence and they're willing to do whatever. There's some dudes that believe that. She always wants it. We just got to give her some drugs so she can be the real her and all this kind of stuff. But it's a cartoon, to Ryan's point. Why are you blaming the cartoon? Well, the cartoon man-made is an extension of the attitudes of the men who drew him up. But his point is that I remember watching Pepe Le Pew, and I agree with Ryan. What I got from it was that was not the way to do it. And then I started listening Too Short, and it effed everything up for a short time. I'm better now. Better now. Dale writes, cartoons reflected the culture at the time, racist and misogynistic. This guy don't know the history behind the characters. She needs to educate himself. Tracy writes, critical thinking. Rachel writes, I agree, Pepe Le Pew should not be canceled, but they should change his approach. If you change the approach, then why even had a character? That was my thing. See, that's where I got from Disney. If I'm Disney and we're going to change the approach of the character, then we might as well just take the character out and replace it. And so that's what they did. And if you're Disney, with their troubled history and mixed up morals, but if you're Disney and you're selling an animated family movie, why even take the risk of having a character that some people might find offensive? If it's not integral to the plot, why not just snip it, replace it, and move on? So I get why Disney did what they did. It kind of makes sense to me. Drop writes, this is just the beginning of cancel culture. Desperate Democrats are going to lose these culture wars. The border crisis must be known to the rest of America. Pepe and Dr. Seuss are distractions. Let me see. What he said was facts. TNT writes, I detect no lies. Tracy writes, never saw the cat get raped as a kid. Pepe Le Pew was just thirsty. Kenny writes, rape culture. Nope, it's a cartoon. WTF? Glenn writes, he is hilarious. He writes, Pepe was grabbing him by the ussy before Donald Trump. He is hilarious, man. Jay writes, Trump is part of the rape culture. Don't forget he grabs lady by the ussy and kisses them on because that's what they like, is what he said. But look, they keep him around. Tracy writes, they even canceled Baby It's Cold Outside, Dean Martin. Rachel writes, not Disney, Nate, Warner Brothers. Really? I thought it was Disney. Hey, Tiffany, she's in the house. She writes, Charles Martin, that's my childhood nickname. Danita writes, if cartoons have all these impacts on kids thinking, then why haven't kids dropped an anvil on someone? Now, where are they going to get an anvil from? Jerome writes, he was a player. Damn, everybody knew that. Lisa writes, they made Mr. Potato Head gender neutral, did they? Yeah. Drop writes, LeBron James made the studio take out Pepe Le Pew. Cool. I got no problem with it. I mean, I can see from the studio, whether it's Disney or Warner, I can see from the studio perspective. I can see that. But I think that Ryan made some interesting points in terms of like how people really see it. Like, nobody wanted to be him because he wasn't getting a girl. Nobody wanted to be that. You know what I'm saying? You trying to emulate the men or the characters or whoever, just getting the ladies, not the other way around. That's the way it goes. Let me see. Y'all going hard. Kamika writes, so the racist ones are okay too, right? That's hilarious. Y'all funny. Happy Friday. What's up, Terrence? Happy Friday to you. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. As always, good to see you. Hey, listen, now, you know, we talked with Kelly Prather last week. She was nice enough to call into the show, and she made her case as to why she believes that she should be on the mayoral ballot. If you remember, Joe Mallory called in shortly thereafterward. He's the most recent member on the Board of Elections, and he sort of came at it from his perspective. As it stands right now, David Mann, Avtab Pureval, Cecil Thomas, Raphael Prophet, Gavi Begtrup, and Herman Najoli are all going to be on a May 4th primary. Okay, the NAACP on the 30th of this month is doing a town hall, a virtual town hall. Make sure you check it out. It'll be streamed live from their Facebook page, and I will be your moderator. So looking forward to it. So we got 6 people already, but will there be 2 more? Well, we'll find out, as I understand it, this afternoon. Today, the Hamilton County Board of Elections will hear protest from Kelly Prather and Kohler from Kohler. I can't remember his first name. And Adam Kohler's, I think it was Adam Kohler. And we're going to find out as to whether either or both of them are going to be on the ballot. If you remember, Kelly said she went back 3 times. And she felt like she should have had more than enough. But one issue was that some of the petitions got wet, and instead of turning in the originals, she made copies and then turned the copies in without the originals. So is the Board of Elections going to determine today that she did, in fact, get enough signatures and that she should be on the ballot? So that's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens there. And that could completely change, or I think it'll have an impact, because again, there are no females. There are no women who are running for mayor right now. And why not? I think 8 is better than 6. Why not? It'll make a more robust conversation. And so far, we've spoken on this show with Avtab Pureval, Cecil Thomas, and Raphael Prophet. I'm going to reach out to Gavi Begtrum, Herman Najoli, and David Amadeus Mann, to discuss why they are running and give us some idea of what their platform is, what they believe in, what kind of mayor they'll be. That meeting is going to be this afternoon, if you're wondering, at 2:30 p.m. And there will be a limited number of people allowed in the meeting room, but there's also an overflow room where the meeting will be streamed. Okay, it's going to be streamed on Inter-Community Cable Regulatory Commission website. Whoa, it's a whole lot to say right there. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens there. I wish Kelly the best. We shall see. We shall see. It seems like a shame for her to go back 3 times and maybe get 3 times the amount, but if that's what they had to do. And then my thing is, like, what's the difference? Why is it that we had 6 people that were able to get their necessary signatures, and then we had 2 people that didn't? You know, what's the difference? David Mann, Avtab Pureval, Cecil Thomas, Raphael Prophet, Gavi Begdrup, and Herman Najoli all got it. So what did they do differently? Kelly Prather said she felt like it was personal, like people were trying to stop her. Do you agree or disagree? I don't know. Nat writes, my son was watching Tom and Jerry on YouTube the other day. Akeem writes, bring back Ren and Stimpy. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Brent writes, Pepe Le Pew also promoted adultery. I remember the episode where his wife beat him with a rolling pin for cheating. Is that right? That's quite interesting that, you know, that would be a character in that universe. Kids nowadays don't even watch our cartoons. My nieces and nephews don't like the animation or the characters. Not relatable to them. You know, I found the same thing. They ain't interested whatsoever, and that's cool. That's cool. Do your own things. Jerome writes, if you look for dirt, you will find it. Anthony writes, there was an episode where the cat went after him and he felt like a piece of meat. I think I remember that. Like she switched it on him and he couldn't handle it. Something like that. What about cartoons that promote black people as African sandwiches, Sambos, or Mammy characters? I think that's a question for Danita. They're going back and forth. Let me see. I don't watch cartoons looking for sexism, racism, classism, any other kind of isms. Cartoons are cartoons. If you look at cartoons looking for those things, I don't knock it. It's great for you. I hear what you're saying. For me personally, it's media, and it's media that's controlled and created by humans, and humans are worse than COVID. So we can't be surprised if media, even media as seemingly as innocent as a cartoon, is not infused with the same biased viewpoints of the humans that created it, or sexist viewpoint that the humans that created it. So I'm not surprised by any of that. But it is what it is. CPS board is accused in a suit of breaking the Open Meetings Act. And we'll have to wait and see. I mean, to me, is this like the biggest offense from the school board? I would say no. I feel like what they were talking about is more serious than what city council was talking about. And when they got caught up with it, you know, this is something that directly impacts families, public health, things like that. And I'm not sure what the fine is going to be, if there's going to be a fine, if in fact it goes that far. Looks like Coast is behind this. So I appreciate their consistency on these matters. And we'll have to wait and see. Apparently it stems over a text message between teacher union president Julie Sellers, and some of the school board members responded. I read that Ben Lindy, just by standard, he doesn't respond to any text messages at all, which I think is probably smart to do. That way you don't have, there's no equivocation. When we talk about school board business in any way, shape, or form, we'll do it in these public venues. Okay, I get it. I would imagine that people do this kind of stuff all the time. I would imagine that people do this kind of stuff, like elected officials, they converse with one another. They're part of the body all the time. If those are the rules, you got to abide by them. But, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this. The lawsuit was filed by conservative Hyde Park activist Mark Miller and his lawyer, Kurt Hartman. So that's Coast right there, right? I've seen those names before. Let me see. School board member Carolyn Jones and board member Melanie Bates addressed the allegations during a Wednesday night board meeting. Quote, I think we should welcome the scrutiny of how the board is conducting its business, and I think my board colleagues would agree with that. That's Jones. Now, what I ought to say, if Carolyn Jones, I want to make this point. If Carolyn, if you have that attitude about being sued, then I'm sure that she and the other board members have no attitude about their interviews on this show. Because if they believe that scrutiny and questions are going to make them better and they welcome that, then they should love being on the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm going to make sure I keep this. They should have no problem talking with local media that's not going to be, you know, completely in their pockets. They should have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it makes sense, right? Kids are watching real people on YouTube and TikTok and anime, right? That's what my son is watching. He loves those YouTube channels that are like kid-based. He loves those. He loves those. That's his everything right there. That's what he does. Listen here. Yeah. Got a bunch of things going on this today, including the Is It Just Me podcast. As I've told you, Donnie has been watching the Derek Chauvin, former police officer that killed George Floyd trial. And the hits just keep on coming. More information is coming out every single day. Have you been following it? If not, cool, we got you covered. Donnie has. She'll catch you up to speed. And if you have been following it, then great. You got someone to talk to with about. Y'all can chop it up together later today at 12:30 p.m. Let's see. TNT writes, here we go. Coast, right-wing extremists and the takedown. Right, they're going to make money off of it. You know how it goes. Coast got a great thing going on. They got a great thing going on. I'm sure it's going to be dope. Again, don't forget the public swearing in ceremony will be on March 19th coming up, and that's a week from today from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. over at Corinthian Baptist Church. That's at 1920 Tennessee Avenue here in beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. The swearing in reception honoring Charlie Winburn, the first African-American Hamilton County treasurer. As I said, I keep teasing it. Look for it sometime next week. I think I'll be able to tell you Monday and give you a date for next week. But if you're a homeowner, if you're a property owner in Cincinnati, you're going to want to hear what Charlie Winburn has to say. If you want to be a property owner, you're going to want to hear that conversation. All right, stick around for that. Renew Community Church are doing something new to kick off the year 2021. They call it the Focus 2021 series. And you can download a free ebook that is available via their website this morning and also get signed up for 30 minutes of free coaching. That could be business coaching, could be life coaching. And again, my question for you is, have you ever had a life coach? Have you ever had a business coach? Someone that you could sit down with and pick their brains or feel confident to share ideas, right? And perhaps get some substantive feedback. Have you ever had that kind of relationship? Well, check it out, right? Do something different. Calendar year 2021, try it out. And when you do, let me know what you think. Let me know. I'm very interested. My friends over at Pinnacle Protection Agency are currently looking for installers. People that can install camera, DVR, and alarm systems. If you have experience as an installer, that would be great. They'll also give you the necessary training so you can be productive on the job. This is a family-owned local business, and they are expanding, and they want to rise to the demands of their clients. And to do so, they want to hire more folks. So if you're interested, you can send your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com or call them at 513-506-5010. Okay, don't be shy. Give them a call this morning and inquire about the employment opportunity. If it's something that Maybe you're looking for something new, or maybe you know someone who might be changing careers. They're looking to get into something different. Maybe you want to work with a local up and coming business. This is a Black-owned business. If that's something that matters to you. As a matter of fact, I've got a quick commercial break I want to play for you, and then we'll come right back. Okay, don't go anywhere.
Pinnacle Protection Agency is seeking professional installers. Pinnacle Protection Agency is innovative security for your world, offering services for commercial and residential clientele, which include smart home and business technology, intrusion, fire, surveillance and doorbell cameras, and a whole lot more. We want to hire experienced installers and are willing to train. Please send your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. That's info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. Call 513-506-5010.
I've gotten a lot of inquiries lately about, the type of equipment that I'm using. So I think what I'm going to start doing is doing just some product review videos. I might probably do them straight from Facebook or maybe my Instagram, or maybe I'll create a new Instagram page. Because, if people want to do live streams, if they want to do their own shows, then, on some levels, I want to show you, what I've done in terms of equipment and know-how. So you can bring your live streams up to par, or you might want to do podcasting or whatever else. Again, I've spent time and money over the last few years investing in the digital world, and in doing so have amassed a bit of knowledge in terms of equipment. And then most recently, I've acquired a lot more knowledge about the video side of things. Got the audio pretty much down. So I want to share this with you. So don't be surprised if you see that. I think I'll share with my patrons first, and then we'll branch out. I think we'll start with the patrons, share with you. You tell me what you think about it. And if it's good, then it's something I might put out there on a more regular basis, and just share the type of equipment that I think can help you with whatever you're trying to do. All right. Speaking of my trade patrons, it's the end of the week. I got to thank the folks that hold me down. I appreciate you for another month of your patronage. And I just want to shout everybody out individually, starting with Rhonda. Rhonda, thank you so much for being a patron. I appreciate you. Hey, Pamela, thank you so much. Frankie, thank you so much for your patronage. Tanika, thank you. I appreciate you. Kush, thank you. What's up, Charles? Thank you so much. Michelle, thank you so much. James, thank you. Monique, thank you. Bobby, thank you. I appreciate you. Hey, Brandon, thank you so much. Gerald, thank you so much for your patronage. Kelly, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Omar, appreciate. Flomani, appreciate you. Valisa, thank you. Thank you so much. Mason, thank you so much, brother. Jared, good morning to you. Marcia, thank you very much. Brian, thank you very much. Sean, what's up with you? Jesse, thank you. Appreciate you very much. Robin, thank you so much. Sean, thank you again. Hey, Ashley, thank you. Daryl, thank you so much. K Works, thank you. D Wizzle, thank you for your patronage. Tracy, thank you so much. Elizabeth, thank you. Cassandra, thank you as well. Bozilla, I'm not sure who that is, but thank you so much. Appreciate you. Pat, thank you. Lee, I appreciate your support. Cinnamon, thank you. Zola, thank you so much for your support. Appreciate you. Ray and Renee, thank you so much. Thank you both. Dee Dee, thank you. Rachel, thank you so much. Tony, appreciate you. Glenn, appreciate you, brother. Hey, Letty, thank you so much. Hey, Jerome, thank you very much. Asia, thank you. James, appreciate you. And Christy, appreciate you as well. Thank you very much. Thank you for being patrons. All right. And I want to get to the point where the list is so long, I got to pre-record it. Okay. If you'd like to become a patron, it's real simple. Go to Patreon, patreon.com/Nathan Ivy Show. Or my link tree is in today's description. No, I didn't forget Renee. Thank you so much, Renee. I said Ray and Renee. Yeah. Ray just sent me a message like, don't forget Renee. I did not forget Renee. I said Ray and Renee. I'll say it again. Thank you, Ray and Renee. Appreciate you. But it's patreon.com/Nathan Ivy Show. There's a link in today's description, or you can go to nathanivy.com and follow the link there. It might be easier just to go to the link in today's description box. All right. It should be on YouTube, Tiffany. It should be on YouTube. It should be. I really appreciate that, folks. Hold on. Let me double check before I roll out of here. I know I'm leaving a little bit earlier, but I got a couple things I want to do this morning before we get to the next podcast. Keep your eyes on what we're doing here with CDM. And I just want to double check to make sure I'm not losing or missing anything. I didn't play any of the clip. Do y'all really want to see Joe Biden? I mean, you can do that on your own, I think, if you're really inclined to do so. I gave you my takeaways from it. It was refreshing. It was refreshing not to have somebody always beating on their chest, pointing themselves, me. I did this. We're the best ever. The self-aggrandizing was just over the top with the former administration. There's a part of me that loves the fact that the Biden administration has taken a stance to not openly even mention Trump's name or to talk about Trump. Because one of the things I didn't like about Trump was that he was obsessed with Obama. I would have been far more into it if he spent less time trying to diss somebody. You know what I'm saying? Aren't you like that? I don't like that. I don't like when people diss other people like that. Not when it's, I mean, if you got a point to make your point, right? If you're doing the critique. But like, if you're trying to make yourself look good by downing someone else, I hate that. I think it's weak. I hate that. It turns me off when people do that completely. I'd be far more impressed if you just talked about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, but if it's real speaking your piece, then it's real you speaking your piece. I get it. I mean, I got no problem with it. Speak your piece. But that was one of the things that just got real old to me with Trump. It's like, just talk about what you're doing. But, you know, trying to put down Obama, it just seems so pathetic to me real quick. And that is refreshing to me from Biden. You know, if he's got to make a point that's relevant, make a point that's relevant. But I don't want you overly obsessing about what Trump didn't do. That's old news. I'm more concerned about what you're going to do with this opportunity that we, the people, gave you. Now, when it comes to his Republican opponents in Congress, I do think that the Democrats should get a bit louder. I don't think they're loud enough, right? In terms of the fact that the Republican Party doesn't want to work with them, like with this stimulus check. Some people are going to get stimulus checks within, and you might start getting checks on Monday. They might go out that quick if you've already got the electronic system set up. And they should be telling people about that. I mean, the Democrats should be telling people, we did this. So that people know. To me, that is useful, as opposed to, like, you know, criticizing Trump. So I like that approach. Just let it go. TNT writes, he did good. I agree too. Even though I'm comparing him to Trump, I'm just saying, you know, this is the first time ever. And so it's easy. Brent writes, hands off Dr. Umar Johnson. He is one of ours, Prince of Pan-Africanism. I'm going to tell you, Brent, I got nothing but respect for that brother, but I don't know what's going on with him in this school. It looks shady. I'm just going to put it that way. It looks shady. It looks like maybe he hasn't been spending the money the way he said he's going to do, but I haven't sent any money in, right? And I know he's got a lot of supporters, and the brother, in terms of what he's saying, his message, most of the time, except when he got sidetracked with Tariq Nasheed and other of these little petty beefs, most of the time, the brother's 100% on point. So I think that's refreshing. But something's not right with the money deal, but it is what it is. TNT writes, right now, Dems are winning. They said checks will be direct deposited this weekend. Right, this weekend. So Glenn writes, I have to admit, I can be petty, but also have a possible point. Petty and a possible, LOL. That's hilarious. Petty and a possible. People who do that do it to mask their failures, Nate. Trump. Exactly, Anthony. That's exactly what I don't like about it. People that spend a lot of time trying to diss other people to make themselves, it's really they feel like something's wrong with them. And that's real ugly to me. I'd rather just give somebody props. I'd rather, like, if I see somebody that's doing something, I'd rather give them props, give them support, try to think of ways to collab, and then try to learn. You know what I'm saying? rather than try to diss somebody because they might be shining. I mean, get your shine on. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of shine out here for everybody. TNT writes, a win for working people. Finally, I wish it was $2,000, but okay, great. 1,400, that'll help a lot of people. And, you know, again, my question is, if you're in a position where you can take some of that and invest it, let's say 500. What's the best investment for $500? What's the best short, medium, and long-term investment with $500? You know what I'm saying? That's a question that I think needs to be put out there. What's the best investment? If you got $500 to invest, what's the best short, medium, and long-term investment you can make today in 2021 with that money? Because there might be some people that can take a little piece of that and put it to the side. Rachel writes, Dr. Umar is on point. However, his school should have been open by now, even on a small scale. Rachel, it's the way he talks. You know, it's always about the money. He comes across like one of these slimy ass for-profit preachers. And I don't like it. I don't like it because I think Dr. Umar is a very intelligent guy that's got a message that we should listen to for Black people. And he makes a lot of sense. Like when he starts talking about the way Black kids are treated in the system, school system, and what you can do about it, that brother is on point. He came to Cincinnati and was talking that talk. He had me. That man was on point. Super intelligent. Just gifted. You know what I'm saying? I love Black excellence. Just a great mind. But this school thing, man, I'm not against it. Like even now, I just love the concept of it. So would I donate to it? I would. I haven't, but I'm not against doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because we need a FDMG Academy. But something ain't right there, man. I wish him and all the money the best. I hope it all turns out. Hope it all turns out. Let me see. TNT writes, plus those child credits and EIC up to $2,500 per child. Oh, yeah, it's all going to be good. She writes, you're clearing almost $7,000, right? Daryl writes, Nate, both things can be true. Trust your spidey senses. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Daryl. When it comes to Dr. Umar, my spidey senses is saying that two things are true at the same time. This brother is an incredible intellect, and a lot of what he has to say about Black people is on point. And at the same time, something's fishy with the school. And that's what my spider sense is telling me. I'll be honest with you, I can't even watch all of his videos, because if it comes a point in the videos where he starts saying the same thing 3 and 4 times, sounding like one of these rhyming ass for-profit preachers has been robbing the Black community blind for too long. At some point in every video, he seems like he's doing that. But again, I hope everything turns out well. A con artist will speak on your issue, same time picking your pocket, right? Drop right, start an emergency fund. Y'all remember how people panicked when the COVID-19 first hit? Stay ready. That's a good way. Yeah, take that $500, just put it up and forget it until a real emergency happens. That would be dope if you could do it. But couldn't you do two things at the same time? Couldn't you put that in an investment, which at the same time could be money you could pull from if it's an emergency? Because to me, if you find that kind of investment that you can pull from in an emergency, if you don't have an emergency, your investment can grow. Right? So what are those kind of places that we can put it in? Oh, no, I'm just saying, I mean, it's far less. Tanika writes, you already know. Thank you so much. It's far less than the 40 acres and a mule. Carmelita says Wimburn is a fraud. Really? You ain't feeling Wimburn? Really? Again, we all can have our opinions. There's nothing wrong with that. TNT writes, I think I read that already. Let me catch up here. TNT writes, emergency, invest in stocks, invest in you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that's where those after school programs come in. When I was in that youth development world, I met a Black female who started a financial literacy program that was targeted at teenagers and in teenage girls in particular. And it was ran by a Black woman. And I was in a position to bring the program, to fund it, to pay for it. And I was glad I did. And that's why I keep saying that there's so many people don't read this wrong when I go hard with the school system or whatever. I'm doing that because it needs to be done. But I've seen with my own eyes the good work that CPS does, all of the great partners involved with CPS. Like I told you, I was shocked. And CPS could do a better job of just reporting on what they are doing on a daily basis. They don't beat their chest enough in some cases because there's so many great partnerships and collabs and programs that are out there that are moving the needle. And everybody talks about, well, how we need financial literacy. Well, you can get financial literacy in your before and after school programs. Yeah, you can do that. That's why I super support before and after school programs, because they can extend the school day. And then with separate funding and a little bit of time, you can put programs and opportunities in front of our students that the school just doesn't have the time and the money for. They just don't do it. So every time I think about financial literacy, I think about that program. It was a great program led by a spectacular human being who, obviously this was, her job. But what a wonderful job teaching financial literacy to teenagers, right? And primarily our class, there's a lot of Black folks in class, primarily. Props to all the people that do work for our children. Shantae writes, what would you invest in, Nate? That's a damn good question, Shantae. That's a damn good question. So, I would look at two things. What I would tell people is to do one or two things. If you got $500 to invest, I would look at doing putting the money up and creating a safety net first. So if you don't have the money to put into an investment, I would be in favor of taking that $500 and putting it somewhere, right? Maybe it's a low interest, checking account. Forget about it. And that becomes your rainy day fund. I don't know. For me, knowing you got money in the bank in terms of a rainy day fund, it just gives you peace of mind. Peace of mind that if life happens, like if you get a flat tire, and you have rim damage, just being able to completely cover just the things that happen in life, because those are the things that for people who are struggling can throw you completely off, right? You could be on your path and catch a flat tire and fuck up your axle or do something else. Something happens in your home or something. It takes $300, $400, $500 and you don't have it. Now you're scrambling. So if you don't have that already put up, I would be in favor of creating that peace of mind by knowing you got a grand or two or whatever, $500 in the bank, just in case you need it. Now, if you've already got that, I would look into, there's a multiple of things. It depends on how deep you want to get into it. Some people will say stocks, like those kind of investments. I would also look into, how far could that $500 get you in terms of available property that might be available in your area. I would look into coalescing, so teaming up with other folks in your own family. Maybe it's somebody else that's got $500. Now together you got $1,000. Boom. What can you do to move the needle in a real way? But I would say, get that safety net, especially being a Black person in America. You might have to go to jail at any moment, and you might need the expertise of a lawyer at any moment. And so you want to make sure you've got that, and you'll walk differently around on these streets knowing you got that. You know what I'm saying? You'll be more comfortable, in your skin, knowing that if something goes down and you got to interact with the legal system, you at least got $1,000 somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You can get yourself a lawyer. You can get bailed out. You can pay for these little fines. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. I'm a big fan of peace of mind. So I think that's the way I would look at it, if it were me, without getting into any particular details about investments. If you don't invest it, put that $500 into a Black-owned bank. I'm with that. Why not? Let me see here. Let me jump back in and see what's popping. Did you see Patrick Ewing? I'm all over I'm not really all over the place. I'm just sharing you news. Okay, we're talking about it. Did you see Patrick Ewing? He is the legendary player for the New York Knicks. You know, the New York Knicks, they played all their home games in Madison Square Garden. Patrick Ewing recently complained that when he goes to Madison Square Garden, basically the security guards are like checking for him, you know, making him check in, asking him for ID. And he's like, man, I'm Patrick Ewing. Everybody in this building should know who I am. You know, Georgetown Hoya. He's now the coach of the Georgetown Hoyas. He's now the coach. And I mean, if you know anything about basketball the last 20, 25 years, then you should know who Patrick Ewing is. And if you work at MSG, you should know who that man is. Just like you should know who Charles Oakley is. And basically, it's like they don't know who I am, so I'm being treated like I'm just some ordinary black dude. No, I'm a special black dude. You see this? Only in America. They don't recognize you. They don't know who you are. You're going to get treated like everybody else. Lisa writes, I think I'm going to pay off a credit card, trying to be debt free. That's smart. You know that $500 can take off the credit card bill? That's smart. Jerica's saying deuces. Brent says, have a great weekend, Choppers. Oh, absolutely. So listen, I'm going to leave just a little bit early. I got to make a move. I appreciate you. All right. Have an excellent rest of your Friday and a great weekend. I'll be with you again on Monday morning. At this point, I'm not planning on doing a late night Nate during the weekend, but you know, basically I do that when the need is there. Like when something's popping, we do a late night Nate. So you never know. All right. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe on Facebook so you can get a notification whenever we get a live video from CDM's Facebook page. That way you can stay up. All right. And like and share today's show. If you want to send a donation, you can do so by sending a donation via PayPal or Cash App to Nathan Ivy Show. I appreciate it as we build out and amplify Black voices in the greater Cincinnati area and beyond. And if you'd like to become a patron, just hit the link tree in today's description. It'll take you to my website. It'll take you to where you become a Patreon and even make a donation. So thank you in advance for that. All right. Have an excellent rest of your weekend. It's a beautiful Friday. Get out and have some fun. All right. Enjoy yourself. And I'll catch up with you real soon. All right. I'm Nathan Ivy. Until next time, I'm out.